You ignored the rules. You now owe a $700 fine. The deadline to cut this overgrown lawn ended today.
I don't have that kind of money.
The morning was quiet in that way only old neighborhoods ever are. No traffic, no laughter, just the soft hum of wind brushing through trees that had seen more years than most of the people living beneath them. I was standing by my window, absent-mindedly stirring a cup of coffee that had already gone cold, when I saw a familiar figure step out onto the porch across the street. Mr. Walter? He moved slowly, painfully, slowly, like every step had to be negotiated with his body before it was allowed to happen. He wore the same brown jacket he always did, even in warm weather. The sleeves frayed at the cuffs. His hair was thin and white, like it had been slowly erased by time. He sat down in his wooden chair and stared at his lawn. The grass was tall, uneven, wild. But it wasn't neglected. It looked like someone had meant to cut it and simply couldn't. That's when the black SUV stopped. 2 HOA officers stepped out. Clean clothes, polished shoes, clipboards held like shields. They didn't look around. They didn't smile. They didn't hesitate. They walked straight up to his porch. I couldn't hear them at first, so I opened to my window. "You ignored the rules?" one of them said flatly. "You now owe a $700 fine. The deadline to cut this overgrown lawn ended today." The words hung in the air, heavy and final. Mr. Walter blinked, confused, like he hadn't expected anyone to speak to him that day at all. I'm sorry," he said. "I tried. I really did." The woman glanced at her clipboard. "This notice was sent twice." "I don't check my mail every day anymore," he replied quietly. "My eyes aren't what they used to be." The man sighed, already bored. "The fine still stands." Mr. Walter's shoulders sagged. "I don't have that kind of money." He said it like a confession, like a failure. "I live off my pension," he continued. "After my wife passed, things got harder." There was no sympathy in their eyes. "Rules are rules, sir." I felt something hot rise in my chest. I'd lived in that neighborhood for years. I'd seen those HOA officers fine people for trash cans being out too long, for paint shades being too faded, for flowers growing where grass was expected. But this felt cruel. I didn't even put my shoes on. I crossed the street in socks, heart pounding, before logic could talk me out of it. "Hey," I said, my voice shaking slightly. "How long does he have?" Both officers turned to me like I'd interrupted a private ritual. "The violation ends today," the woman replied. "Unless the lawn is fully cut." I looked at the grass, then at Mr. Walter. "Do you have a mower?" I asked him. He hesitated, embarrassed. "It's old," he said. "I can't get it to start anymore." "I can try," I said. He looked at me like I'd just offered him something priceless. "You don't have to," he whispered. "I know." I walked into his garage. It smelled like dust, oil, and memories. Old tools hung on the walls. A fishing rod in the corner. A box labeled Christmas in handwriting that clearly wasn't his. The mower was ancient, rusted, heavy. I dragged it out and pulled the cord. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Mr. Walter stood behind me, wringing his hands. "My wife used to start it on the first pull," he said. "Every time. On the third try, the engine sputtered. On the fourth, it roared alive." Mr. Walter gasped. I started cutting. The sun climbed higher. Sweat ran down my neck. My arms ached. The mower stalled. I restarted it. It jammed. I cleared it. The grass was thick, stubborn, resistant-like. It didn't want to be tamed. Minutes turned into an hour. Neighbors began to notice. Mrs. Hernandez brought me water without saying a word. A teenager from down the street grabbed a rake. Someone else started trimming the edges. No one asked why. They just helped. Mr. Walter sat on his porch, tears quietly streaming down his face. I didn't want to be a burden, he said to no one in particular. You're not, I replied, not stopping the mower. I used to take care of everything, he continued. The house, the yard, my wife. He paused. Then she got sick. I stopped the mower and looked at him. She hated hospitals, he said. Said they smelled like endings. His voice broke. I promised her I'd keep the house the same. I promised I wouldn't let it fall apart. His hands trembled. I tried. I swallowed hard and started the mower again. 2 hours later, the lawn was unrecognizable. Perfect lines, clean edges, short grass. The HOA officers returned. They walked around silently, inspecting. No violation, one of them finally said. And they left. Just like that. Mr. Walter didn't cheer, didn't speak. He just stared at the lawn. Then his face crumpled. He cried, the way people cry when they've been holding it in for years. I thought I was going to lose my home, he whispered. This is all I have left of her. I sat beside him. He pulled out a photograph from his wallet, a younger version of him. A woman smiling beside him on the porch. The lawn behind them freshly cut. She said, grass grows back. He said, people don't. I felt tears fall before I could stop them. You saved me, he said. I shook my head. No, I said softly. You reminded us all what it means to be human. That night, I couldn't sleep because I realized something. A man can survive war. He can survive loss. He can survive loneliness. But sometimes, what almost breaks him is a lawn he can no longer cut, and the world deciding that doesn't matter.